You have many years experience in IP in the United States, working out of Philadelphia. How is the current COVID-19 situation impacting the legal sector in general, and which are the major changes you've seen in the last few months?
There's been actually a big shift in the last couple of months in result of the epidemic. If you look at the law firms in particular, especially in Manhattan and other places, you see a lot of cuts in salaries and headcount in big law, kind of predicting a shrinking market. The economy is taking quite a hit. This actually creates kind of opportunities for more mid-market, mid-sized firms, because whereas a couple months ago, it was harder to get talent in the mid-market because the salaries were lower and there was still lots of opportunity at the big law realm. So they were still acquiring a lot of the talent that the mid-market couldn't afford anymore, or was taking. Basically, they just got a bigger share. And now that there's more associates and whatnot on the market, it creates an opportunity for the mid-sized firms to pick up some headcount where they may have been looking. On the IP side of things, anytime we see one of these, other than like the 2008, 2009 crash, when you see hardships, a lot of times you'll see increases in IP. As you can imagine, we get tons of calls about COVID-related inventions, everything from respirators to the ways to detect, to predictive analytic systems based on machine learning. So we've seen a significant increase in that area in the IP side.
So as a partner and chairman of the IP and technology group at Ellenoff Grossman Schole, you focus on the areas of artificial intelligence and blockchain technology. What are the challenges and opportunities the current situation presents to these areas in particular?
Sure. So both are actually very well poised to be useful technologies in this day and age. I mean, so in terms of the AI space, AI has commonly been used in the biotech space for drug identification, drug screening, image screening. So there's a lot of the AI already in play in that market. And you can see its applicability in numerous different areas in terms of predictive analytics, of forming these models where we see infection maps. A lot of that's machine learning driven anyway already. So it's already well situated to be used. And then blockchain too. Blockchain's been heavily used in logistics, verifying, because it's got this, this ledger, this distributed ledger technology that you have a constant ledger of what's occurred. And so it's used in logistics to verify supply chain issues and things like that.
And I realize from your background that a significant amount of your work and experience has a strong international element. How is the current situation impacting international collaboration in IP?
Very similar to what we see in the US. I mean, this is an epidemic that really no one's gone unscathed for. Even the countries that are doing better in terms of number, normally their market base is global, and so the hit in one area, even if yours is not, is going to impact your decision to make in the IP world. What we can say is that also similar to the US, where the USPTO, our United States Patent and Trademark Office, has pushed out certain deadlines for response if you have any kind of COVID-related issue, and that includes reduction in income from COVID-19 related matters, that you can get your deadlines pushed down. And actually just yesterday, the USPTO pushed out that deadline now to June 1st. So anything that's occurring, you get these kicked out deadlines. And we see that in a lot of the foreign jurisdictions as well. They're kicking down these administrative deadlines for filings. However, we also have seen that a lot of countries have noted that there are certain things that they can extend. There are certain things that are set administratively, but there are other dates that are set by law, and they don't have any flexibility to change those dates that are set by law.
You have worked with international counterparts in obtaining patents in over 70 countries worldwide. Do you see the COVID-19 situation having an impact on IP stakeholders? Like, would you say the impact is more noticeable in some jurisdictions or industries as opposed to others?
I think that that's interrelated. I think similarly to the last answer, that even if you are in a area or jurisdiction that's not been as hit as hard, you still deal with a global economy. So those decisions are still having ramifications. We have some clients in Taiwan that we recently spoke with, and they are still pushing forward with everything that's hit, but they're still being cautious based on what's happening around them as well. So it's not that you are immune simply because your country has not been hit.
Have you seen any specific industries in the U.S. that are maybe lessening their foreign filing and maybe cutting back on that?
Instead of it being really what countries are being affected, it's really what industries. We've seen some pullback, especially in non-essential consumer goods, goods that people basically can live without. People are not buying as many, so the IP stakeholders are delaying filing new applications or broadening their portfolio. They're trying to conserve cash because we've heard from some clients that their revenues have dropped as much as 70%. So it's, I think it's probably more industry specific. Again, we also seen an absolute surge in software and everything from apps to, everyone's trying to do everything remotely. So now there's plenty of new IP solutions for how we engage in this new remote world that we live in.
James, is there anything else you would like to add that reflects how IP has been impacted by the global reality that we're currently living in?
An interesting time, especially in the IP space, because there is so much that happens. It's unfortunate, but a lot of times it is times of tragedy that push technology forward, not just IP, but interrelated with technology. You have war, famine, epidemics, pandemics. These things drive humans to do something, to change that situation, survive. And so a lot of that drive to survive comes with ingenuity, invention. And so it is a time of growth and interesting developments in our space as well.